What a week we have had for you on talkSPORT. Plenty still to come with the playoff finals I mentioned earlier on coming away this weekend. We've also got the climax of the WSL today. There's Usyk taking on Fury tonight. And then, as we mentioned already, the finale to the Premier League with the title race still to be decided tomorrow. So let's focus on the race to become English champions, shall we? Or just in the sense of what happened this week. Manchester City moved to within one win, Cass, of an historic fourth successive Premier League title with that 2-0 win over Tottenham on Tuesday. The entire build-up pretty much to that game was dominated by whether Spurs fans wanted their own team to lose in order to stop Arsenal winning the title. Have a listen to this.
It's all right for Andy. He's from Australia, right? He doesn't understand what it means for men and women out there who've got to go and deal with Arsenal fans when they win the league.
We should be cheering the City guys tomorrow. I've even tried to get a ticket in the away end.
We've been in the Champions League enough.
You've been in the Champions League enough? Bored with the Champions League?
If Tottenham win, it'll be the biggest embarrassment ever. We made Arsenal lose the title. It's excellent.
So that's some section of the Tottenham fans. I am sure there would have been some that wanted to win the game just because, like at most fans, you want your team to win. But as we know, the result in North London on Tuesday meant that if Arsenal have any hopes of winning their first title in 20 years, Cass, they have to hope the City drop points at home to West Ham whilst they do their business against Everton at the Emirates. What did you make of the viewpoints we were hearing there from Spurs fans? Do you understand that mentality?
I was on the train coming back from London, and I was on the train with and the train was going from Orpington to Tunbridge, and there were loads of Spurs fans on. So we sort of crossed, and a few spotted me.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it was absolutely mixed feeling.
Yeah.
It was a bit like at the stadium. There were some Spurs fans who were like, we should be just wanting our team to win. And yes, it's Arsenal, but let's not think about that. And there's others that were absolutely beaming about the fact that their own team had lost. And it was interesting that Postecoglou didn't like it at all.
No.
Didn't like it at all.
No.
He's like, no way. It was, and also, Nat, a few weeks before, Man United played Man City. Man City were the team that did the poster with Tevez, welcome to Manchester. You know, Man United were desperate. Their fans were desperate for them to try and beat City. And yet, you know, they were desperate for that. And I never saw that rivalry that was with City, and United. And you can add in, Arsenal fans have got they've got their views, and they've been pretty outspoken about what they think Tottenham will do. They've made it, in my opinion, the biggest toxic derby in Premier League now. Because this is going to rumble on. You know, if it ends up that Arsenal, which they probably will do, because I can't see no way West Ham getting a result at City, that this is going to go into next season, and the hatred has been sort of added to by what's happened this season. And I thought that Spurs players were terrific in the game.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's not like they just let City walk all over them.
No.
They gave them a game.
Absolute
I agree
integrity.
with you. Yeah, absolutely. Which is what Ange Postecoglou has spoken about. Even I think yesterday in his press conference, he'd spoken about the integrity. Like, he didn't want his team to lose 5-6-0, whatever it was, if it meant that it benefits City rather than Arsenal, because he sort of talks about he wants to win. He's a winner. That's all it's about for him.
From the Tottenham's perspective, if I was a Tottenham fan, and yes, I wouldn't like it that their biggest rival could win the league, but I would be also thinking, I want my club to win under any circumstances and become winners. And people say, oh, you don't understand what fans are like. I am a fan of a football club. I don't want Liverpool ever to act in that way or that feeling about somebody else winning. If I suffered, it's not. Liverpool fans suffered like Man United fans suffered when United were being really successful.
I do know what you're saying.
Wasn't it Blackburn when Kenny Dalglish? Do you remember the Kenny Dalglish Blackburn when United could have won the title and Liverpool wouldn't do the favour because it was Kenny and wouldn't. Liverpool's performance against Blackburn that day, they got a result. Man United just didn't get their result either, did they?
I know what you're saying though. Because ultimately, as a fan, I would want my team to win every game. That's what you want them to win every game. Of course you do. But if you lose the game and you know that scuppers your rivals, then regardless of, like I say, you go into it wanting to win the game, but you come away losing that game and thinking, I would therefore be, as a fan, be thinking,
Yeah,
we weren't expected to win it.
Okay, so the point,
I can kind of see both points of view. Is what I'm trying to say.
So the point is, look, we do our best to try and win the game.
Yeah,
right. We do that because we have to. That's a principle and that's a moral. Okay, if we lose afterwards and the benefit where you go, okay, well, stop them winning, but it's not the first objective. The first objective is to try and put in a performance to try and do the right thing, and that's what Tottenham did. Yeah. And I think that is a good precedent to set at a football club.
But you're right about the toxicity now of the North London.
It's become
derby.
the worst. It's overnight. I'll say overnight. It might have been close anyway. But now, I think further down the line, this is put a bigger division between these two fan groups.
It's going to amplify it. Yeah. Because now Arsenal fans are just going to think, well, we live in your head rent-free, because all you're thinking about is, well, if we lose the game, that means it scuppers Arsenal. So it just adds to that intensity already there as a rivalry.
And the biggest point for Tottenham as a club is we've got to be successful. Even if at times like now, our main rival wins and be successful, but long term we have to have an idea. And I said this a few weeks ago. It's got to be about Tottenham and their success, not about what rivals do. It's got to be about that football club, your football club. Their achievements have to be further down the line now, have got to be about we do the right thing. Yeah. And that is win that game or try to win that game, which they did. I thought they were really good against Man City.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.